Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 11th of November and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme coming to you live from the heart of Wyke, Regis. And in the news this week, residents in Dorset will go to the polls to elect councillors for Dorset Council and Town and Parish Councils on the 2nd of May next year, 2024, which is just about 6 months away. The Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner elections will also take place on the same day. Residents in Dorset who are not recognised to vote are encouraged to do so now. Not registered to vote, are encouraged to do so now ahead of the local elections. This included anyone who has moved home or changed their name since the last annual canvassing for elections. Registering is the first step to the voting process. The second is choosing which method to use to vote. And you can vote either in person, by post, or by appointing someone else trusted to vote on your behalf. That's called a proxy vote. Now, you can now apply to vote by post or by proxy online. Alternatively, you can download an application form from the Electoral Commission website. So if you search for Electoral Commission. If you want to vote by post or proxy, you'll need to apply by 5 o'clock on Wednesday the 17th of April. Now that is a little way off, but that time will soon go if you forget about it. Once you have registered for a postal vote, a pack will be posted to your address a few weeks before each election to enable you to post by vote. If you plan to vote at a polling station, please remember now it's a legal requirement to have photo ID. That's a new law that was brought in since the last elections. If you don't have one, you can apply online for free voter ID. So if you search for free voter ID, now's the time to get that done so that it's all in place ready for the elections when they come along. Now, Weymouth Bridge repairs could be delayed due to the recent bad weather. The bridge has been closed to traffic since September when the second phase of repairs to the bridge started. And despite work going better than last year's first phase, bad weather could impact on the ongoing works. The scheduled work is expected to finish on November the 30th, but Dorset Council admits that due to the repairs needed to be done while the weather is good, it could be delayed. Kevin Davis, Dorset Council's highway site agent who's overseeing the work on the bridge, said the removal of the surfacing and replacement of the defective welds has gone even better than last year, despite some unforeseen challenges. Our engineers discovered areas where sections of the deck plate needed cutting out and replacing, and the recent extreme weather has slowed down progress. Shot blasting the deck plates and applying the specialist surfacing needs good weather. If the weather is not on our side in the coming weeks, the teams are optimistic we can still reopen the bridge at the end of November. If there is a delay, however, we will let everyone know. The welds attach the steel deck plates under the road surface to the bridge beams, and once inspected, the defective welds are being milled out and re-welded. This will prevent water seeping through the deck to the beams, which would otherwise cause damage and affect the operation of the bridge. So it may be open on time, but it may be delayed, just depending on the weather and whether they can catch up. But the important thing is that very important work to the bridge is being done to make it safe and secure for the future. Now, Dorset Council has secured a successful prosecution in court recently as a Weymouth resident was sentenced for failing to comply with a planning enforcement notice. Atak Hassan, 73, of Wyke, Regis, currently owns part of the land located on the northwest side of Pirates Lane. In 2015, the previous owner subdivided the site into around 120 plots and started selling them off. Mr. Hassan was one of around 45 purchasers who bought plots between November 2015 and March 2017. Now, the lawful use of this land is for agriculture, but many of the purchasers use their plots for unauthorised purposes. Mr. Hassan himself was found to be using the land for leisure and recreational purposes and for storing non-agricultural items and equipment. The whole site lies within the West Dorset Heritage Coast, which was established to conserve, protect and enhance the natural beauty of the coastline. Now, the council attempted to inform and educate the plot holders regarding the lawful and unlawful uses of the agricultural land and produce fact sheets for all the owners. Unfortunately, as a significant amount of unauthorised development continued on this site, including Mr Hassan, the council served enforcement notices on each plot owner back in July 2018. There has subsequently been an appeal and further follow-up action in respect of these notices. On Tuesday the 31st of October at Weymouth Magistrates Court, Mr Hassan pleaded guilty to failing to comply with an enforcement notice by failing to cease using the land for leisure and recreational purposes and failing to cease using the land for the storage of non-agricultural equipment. Also, he pleaded guilty for failing to permanently remove from the land items used ancillary to leisure and recreational use, including caravans, all building materials and equipment including tools, bricks and stored timber, all structures placed on the land in connection with the unauthorised mixed use, including sheds and other specified buildings on the land, and was required to permanently remove all materials resulting from demolition or dismantling. Now, Mr Hassan has been fined £300 for each of two offences and was ordered to pay prosecution costs in the sum of £3,477, the full amount claimed. He was also ordered to pay a victim surcharge of £32, bringing the total to £4,109. Now, Councillor David Walsh from Dorset Council said many other plot owners in this area have also failed to take heed of the enforcement notices, and we will be taking legal action in due course. In the meantime, I want to thank our planning enforcement officers and legal team for their hard work in bringing this case to court. So watch this space if you live in Wyke, Regis, for further action on the illegal use of the land off of Pirates Lane, Wyke, Regis. Now, there will be free parking in Weymouth in the run-up to Christmas. Weymouth Town Council has successfully applied to Dorset Council to allow free parking in its car parks on Saturday the 25th of November and Saturday the 2nd of December. Participating town centre car parks include Weymouth Pavilion Forecourt, Governor's Lane, Cousins Quay, Harbourside, Melcombe Regis, Park Street and the Swannery car parks. Saturday 25th of November is when Weymouth Town Council's Christmas lights are being switched on in the town centre. The main focus will be around the tree the council is providing in New Bond Street, with the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Kate Weller, doing the countdown to the switch on at 5 p.m. Saturday the 2nd of December is Small Business Saturday, which is a national event organised to encourage people to shop local and support small businesses who are a vibrant and key part of Weymouth's retail offer. After a busy day of shopping, make your way down to the promenade for Carols on the Coast, Weymouth Town Council's family carol service, hosted by the Mayor of Weymouth. Now, car parks are being expected to be busier than usual, and the council are encouraging you to walk, cycle or use public transport where possible. A little ironic, as they're offering free parking to encourage you not to use it, I thought, but there we go. Now, staying with local councils, a bit of sad news. Sadly, it's been reported that local councillor Tony Ferrari has died at the age of 70 after collapsing whilst exercising. Mr Ferrari was a councillor for Littermore and Preston. Councillor Ferrari had served on Dorset Council's cabinet as the portfolio holder for economic growth, assets and property until a reshuffle in May this year. He was also a member of the Weymouth Town Council. Councillors stood in silence in tribute to him at the start of Tuesday's Dorset Council Cabinet meeting. Mr Ferrari's wife, Erica, described her husband as an honest, self-deprecating man with a genuine care for others, who preferred to talk about his community work and his passion for running rather than his business life. So sad news there that local Councillor Ferrari has recently passed away. Now, turning to Dorset Police, officers from Dorset Police have issued CCTV images of a woman they wish to speak to in connection with shoplifting offences and threats of violence in Weymouth. It's reported that around 4 p.m. on Tuesday the 31st of October, a woman ran from the Asda supermarket in Newstead Road with suspected stolen items. A member of staff gave chase and caught up with the suspect in the car park of the Weymouth Job Centre, where the woman allegedly threatened them with a syringe needle. PC Connor Lombardo of the Weymouth Neighbourhood Policing Team said, "I'm continuing to investigate these incidents and have now obtained CCTV images of a woman I would like to identify." And you can see those on the screen there. Officers are also investigating a failed to stop collision in Dorchester and are appealing for anyone with information that may help identify the vehicle involved to get in touch. The collision occurred at around 5:30 on Thursday the 26th of October at the Stadium roundabout. So that's one of the main roundabouts as you go into Dorchester, involving a blue Vauxhall Corsa and another car. It's reported that the driver of the second car shouted abuse at the Vauxhall driver before driving off in the direction of Monkey's Jump roundabout without giving any details. The car is described as a dark-coloured estate with tinted windows and a partial registration number of YR61. The male driver is described as white and of stocky build with short hair and was wearing orange high-vis clothing. Police Constable Ramsey Inster of Dorset Police said, "Thankfully the collision caused minor damage and nobody was injured. I am keen to identify the driver of the vehicle that failed to stop at the scene and would ask anyone with information to help my inquiries and to please come forward." And finally, from Dorset Police tonight, officers carrying out inquiries on behalf of the coroner for Dorset are appealing for anyone with information to come forward after the body of a man was recovered in Purbeck. On Saturday the 1st of July 2023, so a little while back, the body of a man was located at Goathorn Woods in Studland. While there is nothing to indicate the death is suspicious, the identity of the body has not yet been established. Police Constable Stuart Wilson of Wareham Neighbourhood Policing Team said, "We have been carrying out inquiries on behalf of the coroner, including DNA checks, but so far we have not been able to work out an identity of the man. This is a very sad incident and we are keen to follow all lines of inquiry available to us so that the man can be identified and his family can be made aware." A tent was located near to where the body was found, which contained a diary with images inside. We are now issuing the images, and you can see those on the screen. They're issuing the images to the public in a bid to find out if anyone recognises the people in the pictures, as they may lead us to identifying the man. Of course, those people in the pictures may be friends or family of the person who's unfortunately died. So if you recognise any of those pictures, then Dorset Police do want to hear from you. And now, anyone with information on any of these crimes or to help identify this gentleman who has been found dead at Goathorn can call Dorset Police on 101. And of course, if you want to give any information anonymously on any crimes, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, Dorset Council has begun the latest phase of its library strategy implementation. The new Dorset Council library strategy has been shaped using over 12,000 responses to 2 exhaustive public consultation as well as a needs assessment. The strategy was adopted in July and looks to the future of Dorset's libraries and how they can meet the needs of residents and communities over the next 10 years. In this phase of the Library Strategy Action Plan, Dorset Council is aiming to ensure that each employee feels valued and empowered, with career opportunities in the library service and more widely in Dorset Council. They're looking to develop flexible resourcing across the library network, enable employees to develop a range of skills and experience. They're going to offer inclusive routes to employment and development opportunities via apprenticeship programs, and they want to build a stronger partnership with and hold value the contribution of the volunteers used within the library service. Now, a workforce development plan will be produced and the council will be looking to utilise library employee strengths with shared learning and rotation throughout the network of 23 Dorset Council libraries and 8 community managed libraries. In the future, there will also be plans to develop library employees via apprenticeship programmes, pathways to employment, work experience and other national initiatives which build relevant skills for the service and for careers within the council. Further opportunities to promote volunteering in the library service will also be explored. Now, if you want to read a copy of that strategy, you can go along to the Dorset Council website and search for library strategy, and you will be able to read what the plans are for the libraries over the next 10 years. Now, staying with Dorset Council, the last round of the Community and Cultural Projects grants is now open for applications. The grants, which are managed by Dorset Council, welcome applications for projects and events for community, arts, accredited museums, heritage, sports, youth, play and physical activity. Groups who are planning innovative and creative projects to engage new people in high-quality arts activities in 2024 are encouraged to apply for a grant. Dorset Council also want to fund heritage projects that aim to include all members of the community, especially those priority groups who don't normally access cultural opportunities. The grants can fund up to £5,000 towards a project that will have a social impact and support local communities and hard-to-reach groups, and can provide up to 80% of total project costs, up to the maximum of the £5,000. Applicants must raise at least 20% of their project costs themselves. Now, you can find out more about eligibility and how to apply for either of these grants on the Dorset Council website. So just go to Dorset Council and search for Community and Cultural Project Grants. Now, if you want any further advice, probably the best contact point is to email communities@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. That's communities@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk, and a relevant officer will get back to you. Now, residents of Weymouth are being invited to neighbourhood plan engagement events. We've mentioned some of these events in recent weeks, where there's some more for you if you're interested in attending. Several engagement events have been set up so that people can view the Weymouth neighbourhood plan and ask questions about it during the current public consultation. The plan sets policies for Weymouth's future development through to 2038, and the consultation period opened on the 27th of October and runs through to 5 p.m. on Friday the 8th of December. But if you've got any questions about it, then the council is encouraging you to go along to one of the engagement events and to find out more. Now, those that are coming up: Thursday the 16th of November, 4:30 at Moonfleet Indoor Bowls Club, and the that says Thursday 16th of November, Moonfleet Indoor Bowls Club, the Marsh Sports Ground. Oh, right, it must be the Moonfleet Bowls Club must meet at the Marsh Sports Ground, which is a little bit strange, but there we go. Event runs from 4:30 to 6:30. Wednesday the 22nd of November at Preston Village Hall from 4:30 to 6:30. Monday the 27th of November at Littlemore Community Centre from 4:30 to 6:30. And Monday the 4th of December in the Council Chamber on Commercial Road from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be some further dates announced in due course. Of course, if you want information on those dates, you can pop along to the Weymouth Town Council website. Just search for Weymouth Town Council in Google and you will find it. And you can also get a copy of the neighbourhood plan there to look at as well. And of course, the council welcomes your input to this. It is your plan for your town, and they obviously want you to engage and ask questions. Now, a husband and wife from Bolton have been convicted for selling counterfeit goods at the Great Dorset Steam Fair in August 2022. They appeared before Bolton magistrates on the 7th of November for sentencing, having previously pleaded guilty to 9 offences under the Trademarks Act at Weymouth Court. The court heard how a trading standard officer was at the Steam Fair on the bank holiday Monday and noticed a large stall in the market area selling a wide range of counterfeit goods, including handbags, purses, hats, trainers and clothing. The stall was owned by Mohammed Masood Ali and his wife Kausa Fisa Ali of Bolton, Lancashire. With the assistance of staff and security officers from the Steam Fair, approximately 600 items were seized, all of which were later confirmed as counterfeit by the trademark representatives. The court was told that if these items had been sold, their genuine value would have been over £290,000. Mrs. Ali claimed that she didn't know the items were fake and didn't know anything about counterfeits. However, checks by trading standards revealed that Mrs. Ali had pleaded guilty to selling counterfeit goods in July 2020 at Greater Manchester Magistrates Court. This followed an investigation where she was filmed selling counterfeit goods at 4 different markets spread across the country. In this case, she was described as a prolific trader in fake goods. Both Mr. and Mrs. Ali were sentenced to 12 months imprisonment, suspended for 2 years. Mr. Ali was ordered to undertake 300 hours of unpaid work, and Mrs. Ali was given a curfew order from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. for a period of 6 months. Both were ordered to pay prosecution costs of £931 and a victim surcharge of £187. It does demonstrate that you have to be aware that there are fake goods out there, certainly at shows and markets and that sort of thing. It is definitely buyer beware, and of course if you are not sure, then do report anything you're unsure of to trading standards. Now, Weymouth Remembrance Sunday tomorrow. What do you need to know about it? Well, on Sunday the 12th of November, the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Kate Weller, will be joined by her chaplain, the Reverend Betty Port, veterans, councillors and members of the armed forces for a service of remembrance. The service will be at the Cenotaph on Weymouth Promenade from 10:55 and provides an opportunity to come together to remember the services and sacrifice of all those who defend our freedoms and protect our way of life. At 11 a.m, members of the Knowth Fort Garrison will fire the first cannon from the beach, signalling the start of the 2-minute silence, followed by a second cannon at 11:02 to mark the end of the silence. There will be a wreath-laying service at the Cenotaph, followed by a parade along the esplanade to the US Memorial, where a short wreath-laying ceremony will also take place. Now, remembrance events will also be happening across the Weymouth and Portland area at the same time, at the Wyke Regis War Memorial at the junction of Portland Road and Wyke Road, and the Portland War Memorial at the top of Portland near to the Heights Hotel. And if you are travelling tomorrow, so especially if you're travelling to a Remembrance Day event, it's worth noting that some rail and bus operators are offering free travel to those that are going to remembrance events. And finally, in our headlines this week, the Mayor's Christmas Fund appeal is now open for donations. If you or your organisation can help the Mayor of Weymouth spread some Christmas joy in the town this year, Weymouth Town Council would love to hear from you. Mayor Councillor Kate Weller is on the lookout for organisations to donate to the annual Christmas Fund appeal. Last year's fund raised over £1,000, which was shared between organisations including the Lantern Trust, the Bus Shelter, Food Banks, the Veterans Hub, Samaritans, the Nest, Envy Freedom and many more. Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Kate Weller, said, "I'm excited to be launching the Mayor's Christmas Fund appeal this year. This is to gather essential funds to spread some festive cheer and offer additional assistance to charities and communities who may be facing financial challenges. If you can help, please consider making a donation, as it really will make a difference to different communities in Weymouth. Cheques can be made payable to the Mayor's Christmas Fund and sent to the Mayor's Christmas Fund, Weymouth Town Council, Commercial Road, Weymouth, DT4 8NG. And if you want any further details of how you may donate, if you're a business or an organisation, then send an email to mayor@weymouthtowncouncil.gov.uk. And that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, you'll remember last week we mentioned that GWR, Great Western Railways, was preparing for another Poppies to Paddington, something they've been doing since COVID hit us, where they've been taking poppy wreaths to Paddington Station for a remembrance service using the Great Western Network, and hundreds of poppy wreaths travelling to London on the train. Well, Great Western Railway's latest Poppies to Paddington operation was underway yesterday, thanks to support from a Royal Navy helicopter and a poppy bus. Partnering with the veterans charity, the Royal Naval Air Station Coldrose deployed a Merlin Mk2 helicopter to carry poppy wreaths from its base to Plymouth. Further strengthening this year's integrated travel approach, Go South West yesterday kindly provided its poppy bus to collect wreaths from stations throughout the region and carry them to Plymouth. This year GWR was remembering 70 years since the end of the Korean War, as it once again carried swathes of poppy wreaths from across the network to London Paddington for the special remembrance service. So there were, I think, 6 trains, and there were 200 wreaths from GWR stations ahead of the service at Paddington's iconic War Memorial on Platform 1. Now, kindly supplied by GWR, we have a short film of this year's Poppies to Paddington to share with you now. There we go, that was Poppies to Paddington, with over 200 wreaths travelling across the southwest to Paddington, to the War Memorial on Platform 1 at Paddington Station yesterday. And thanks to GWR for that film. Now, we've mentioned several times over recent months of the need for foster carers and various appeals from Dorset Council. Well, Dorset Council has this week released a video talking about fostering and encouraging people to come forward and to foster. So we're going to share that with you this week.
I'm a very ordinary person. You'll find people like me everywhere. Sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm stressed. Nobody's perfect. But who can we be but ourselves? And most of the time, that will be enough.
I haven't always had it easy. Who has? But wherever you find yourself, there's always a way forward. Sometimes you just need to be there. Because if you aren't, who will be?
I'm not a person who makes a big difference in the world. I just deal with whatever comes my way, one moment at a time. But what happens when you put all of those moments together? They make up a life. So, it's what you do with your moments that counts.
So let's just go over what's going to happen towards the end of the week.
It's a journey.
It's okay to not always know the way.
And whenever I worried that I'd be alone, I found that I wasn't.
Sounds like you're doing all the right things. She's been through so much change, hasn't she?
And what I've learned is
That I was capable of more.
Than I ever thought possible.
and what I've realised is
That it could be any of us.
That makes a difference in a child's life.
And it could be any of you.
There we go, that's a film encouraging you to think about fostering maybe. And as the film showed, a foster carer can literally be anyone. You don't need to be somebody who's perfect. They come in all shapes and sizes. You can search on Google for Fostering Dorset Council, or you can go to the website fosteringwithdorset.com. So search if you're interested, Fostering with Dorset Council, and they will be really glad to hear from you. Okay, we've come to that time in the programme where we go to our regular contributor, Andrew Wright, for this week's film review and preview. And just to say a big congratulations to Andrew, who has just had his university graduation this last week.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, the latest Mission Impossible film titled Dead Reckoning Part 1 was released on home video. The film stars Tom Cruise, Hayley Atwell, Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg, and revolves around Cruise's Ethan Hunt and his team going on a worldwide mission to prevent a dangerous AI from falling into the wrong hands, all the while being pursued by the American government. I didn't get a chance to see it in the cinema, where it ended up being a box office disappointment, so this is my first time watching the film, and it was very bit of a mixed experience. The film was, well directed and looks visually interesting, like the typical Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible film. But unfortunately, the script was a bit all over the place, and it just seemed to be letting Tom Cruise do whatever he wants, especially in terms of stunt wise. So I gave the film 3 stars out of 5. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad. A sequel is currently set for release in 2025 due to the dual strikes, and the sequel was originally titled Dead Reckoning Part 2, but is now currently untitled. This weekend, the latest Marvel film releases in cinemas, titled The Marvels. Directed by the 2021 Candyman's Nia DaCosta, the film stars Brie Larson, Tiona Paris, Iman Vellani, and Samuel L. Jackson reprising their roles from previous MCU media. The film revolves around Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan teaming up to fight a new threat after they begin swapping places in space every time they use their powers. The film has been subject to pre-release controversy in regards to production difficulties, with rumours that the director walked away during post-production. At the time of writing this, the film only had about 60% positive reviews from critics, but I think in the last 24 hours between writing and recording that's changed. However, it is currently projected to underperform financially in its opening weekend. So hopefully people can show up and support the movie. The Marvels is in cinemas this weekend. This week, the SAG-AFTRA strike came to a close just a month after the Writers Guild strike. Both strikes lasted more than 100 days. The negotiations have gone back and forth over the past couple of weeks, which also involved at one point both sides walking away from the negotiating table, with tough points in the discussions being the use of AI. I know the other week one of the AMTPTs, whatever it is, one of their points was they wanted to use AI likeness of dead actors without the consent of their estates or the guild. So that was a tough point they had to iron out. But now a tentative deal has been reached and the actors can get back to work. A handful of movies including Deadpool 3, Gladiator 2, Beetlejuice 2 and Venom 3 are expected to restart production within the next week. The final season of Stranger Things is expected to begin production within the next 2 weeks, I believe. And American broadcast TV show. So the kind you'd see on like Sky Witness or Sky Max. That's the ones that have like 22 episode seasons. They are currently expected to start filming after Thanksgiving, so after November 27th. And so that they should be up and running by the end of November. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will review DC's Blue Beetle and the film based on a game based on a true story, Gran Turismo. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew, and we'll be back with Andrew next week. It's now time in the programme for going across to the Met Office for the weekend weather forecast, and this week we are once again joined by Jonathan Fortree.
Hello there, welcome to your latest updates from the Met Office. It certainly is going to be a weekend of two halves for many of us. Looking at the satellite imagery, we can already see the swirl of cloud lingering out in the Atlantic. This is essentially Sunday's weather that is slowly approaching us with this low pressure system and its trailing weather fronts gradually easing their way towards the UK. But for Saturday, we are in between systems. So there's fairly light winds across the board, dry conditions for many of us, just a few coastal showers to watch out for parts of Scotland, maybe down into north and eastern areas of Yorkshire as well. But a lot of sunshine in there. But parts of Northern Ireland, southern Wales, southwest England, the skies will just be turning a bit hazier with this wispy cloud coming in. But a fairly crisp autumnal day for many of us. Temperatures around 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. Things, though, are going to be turning more unsettled as we head into this evening and overnight as we watch this band of rain sweep its way in from the southwest. The timing of this is just slightly uncertain, but it is expected to push its way into southwest England, southern areas of Wales, perhaps fringing into parts of Northern Ireland as we head towards dawn tomorrow morning. Turning quite windy in amongst all of this as well, and it will be feeding in some milder air as well, so temperatures overnight holding up here. But elsewhere, we hold on to the clearer skies further towards the north and east. It is certainly going to be a very cold night. Frost certainly possible across parts of eastern England into Scotland as well. Some rural glens getting as low as -5 to -8 degrees Celsius. There will also be some fog forming underneath those clear skies, perhaps through the central belt of Scotland, most extensively around areas of eastern England as well. That will provide for quite a murky, dreary start to Sunday morning, and it will be quite slow to clear as well, perhaps lasting in a few places until the start of the afternoon. But once the fog does begin to clear its way through, certainly Scotland will see a decent amount of sunny intervals remaining throughout the day, but we've got to watch as this band of rain gradually pushes its way further north and eastwards, pushing into Northern Ireland, parts of Northern England, and then a second band of rain following behind as well. Some heavy pulses on that as it pushes into areas of England and Wales, Northern Ireland later on. Will be quite a cold day, particularly where the fog does linger throughout a good portion of it, maybe holding up around mid-single figures here. And again, underneath the most persistent cloud and rain, quite a cool day as well. Still some milder air just feeding into the south here, so temperatures up by a degree or so, around 13, 14 degrees Celsius, but blustery winds still in place, just making it feel that bit fresher as well. Sunday ends then with this band of rain continuing to gradually push its way north and eastwards. It will be the far north of Scotland that holds on to some of the driest conditions, and then we get this slot across Northern Ireland, Wales and England later on into the evening. But there is further rain on the cards as well, gradually pushing its way towards the UK, and that sets us up for a very unsettled start to the new working week as well. Potential for some impacts due to heavy rain and strong winds around on Monday, so it is worth staying up to date with the forecast in regards to that. The middle part of next week looking like a mixture of sunshine and blustery showers in there as well. Again, just holding on to the mild air in the south to begin with, 15, 16 degrees Celsius, but it generally temperatures around average for the time of year as we head towards that middle part of next week. We will, of course, keep you up to date with the full details of all of what is coming our way, particularly for Monday. So make sure you're following us on social media and do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well for all the latest updates. And we'll see you again here very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, Jonathan. And if you're going to a Remembrance Day parade in Weymouth Port tomorrow, it's not looking good first thing, but I hope you notice it looks like between about 10 and about 1 we might have a gap between the rain as the first band moves past Weymouth and Portland before the second band gets there. So let's all keep our fingers crossed for tomorrow that we do get that little break in the weather to enable us to do our remembrance activities. Right, so looking at the weather for the week ahead down on the south coast, here we go. And so Sunday, as we've just said, 3 spots of rain there, meaning heavy rain. Middle of the week again, Wednesday, heavy rain. The best looking day at the moment is Thursday, which looks like to be sunny spells but with no rain, and possibly Friday. But otherwise it's rain, sunny spells and heavy rain this week. Still quite mild though for the time of year, so that's what's keeping us mild. I think the rain, those that are not getting the rain are getting those colder temperatures. So we'll have to put up with the rain, I guess, and keep it mild for the time being. Moving to our What's On this week. First of all, Weymouth Pavilion, 15th to the 18th of November. Wow presents Oliver. I suggest you get your tickets for that fairly quickly if you haven't got them. That's always very, very popular. Also very popular, 19th to the 22nd of November, Project Play presents a Vicar of Dibley Christmas. Now, this is a group of people that take on some of the TV comedies, and I've seen them do Dad's Army. I think they've done 40 Tales or something else before, and they are very, very good, very popular. So do get your tickets for that. 23rd of November, The Illegal Eagles. 26th of November, Rhythm of the Dance. 28th of November, Classical Ballet and Opera House presents Giselle. And on the 29th of November, the same people with the Nutcracker. And the 5th of December is the popular Lions Christmas Show. Again, raising money for local charities. Tickets available online at weymouthpavilion.com or via the box office 01305 783 225. Coming up at the Nose Fort, they've got their Cold War experience on the 19th of November from 11 o'clock till 3. They've got Elf Hunt on the 25th and 26th of November. I think they're doing that on further weekends as well before Christmas. And the Noth Artillery on the 26th of November as well. More details on their events at nothfort.org.uk. Arts Reach, a full programme is now published for Arts Reach. Get it in the post if you like. Here's one here. I've got mine. Lots and lots of stuff on throughout Dorset. All sorts of different stuff. Whether it's classical music or it's poetry or it's acting or it's comedy. There is something there for everyone. So what have we got coming up in our area? This is the immediate area from Arts Reach. 16th of November, the Budapest Cafe Orchestra at the Mowlam in Swanage. 25th of November, King Lear at Powerstock Hut. 2nd of December, folk music from Flanders at Royal Manor Theatre on Portland. 8th of December, the Merry Adventures of Robin Hood at West Stafford Village Hall. More details and tickets for those events and lots and lots and lots more at artsreach.co.uk. A couple of other events. A bazaar in aid of the RNLI will be held at the Ocean Rooms in Weymouth Pavilion on Wednesday, November the 15th, 10:30 to 12:30. The event, which will raise money for the Weymouth Lifeboat Station, will feature a whole host of stalls, including a raffle, lucky dip, visited stalls, and plenty of gift ideas in the run-up for Christmas. Things like cakes, haberdashery, jewellery, records, DVDs, etc., etc. There will also be a performance from the Rock Choir during that event. If you want to hear the story of the lives of two men who fought in the First World War, you can find out more of these two courageous individuals at the November meeting of the South Dorset group of the Somerset and Dorset Family History Society. That will take place on Friday, November the 17th at St Oldham's Church Centre, Spa Road at 2:30. Preceded by tea and coffee. Is presented by a gentleman called Keith Tilley. And his talk will be called Remember, telling the story of the lives of two men who were involved in the Great War. Both survived, won medals, but had different wars. The presentation has many photographs, illustrations, some of the trenches, and some diary extracts as well. Admission is £2 for members and £3 for non-members. And if you want more information, you can call John on 01305 77 6008. Now, turning to church services tomorrow. Regular services tomorrow, 8 a.m, said communion at All Saints Church. 9:30, a communion at All Saints Church, but also it is the Remembrance Sunday service. there will be an act of remembrance in church at the end of the service, and then the church congregation with the local uniformed organisations such as the Scouts and other representatives of the community will then move to the Wyke Regis War Memorial for the 11 a.m. National Act of Remembrance, which will be undertaken at the War Memorial. There will also be a service at St Edmund's Church at 11 a.m. tomorrow as well. Our other programme tonight, our weekly Saturday night quiz, will be on at 7:30. Streams will go live about 7:20. That is available to anybody who'd like to join us. It is free. It is family friendly, community friendly, and anybody is welcome to join us for our regular Saturday evening quizzes. Now that brings us to the end of this week's programme. If you've got any items of news or community events, especially things in the run-up to Christmas, do drop me an email during the week. As ever, the email address, it's on the screen, it's news@wykeregis.tv. news@wykeregis.tv. I would love to hear from you. So that's all I have for you this week. I hope your weekend is not too bad. I hope you can dodge the showers tomorrow, particularly if you're going to a remembrance event tomorrow. I hope the week ahead is good for you, and I look forward to being back with you 6 o'clock next Saturday. Good night.